So a few weeks ago, we combined the 3 best players in today's NBA in order to create one super player to see how crazy they would do in the NBA. And today we're upping it even more. We're going to be combining the 3 greatest players of all time to make the super GOAT. The 3 players we're going to be combining are Michael Jordan, LeBron James, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. I think Jordan and LeBron are top 2 no matter what. And then I threw Kareem in here. You could argue some other players, but of course, Kareem, obviously one of the greatest players of all time. And I wanted to mix it up by putting a center in there. That way we get his height and his post moves, because if we had like another guard or something, this player wouldn't be that crazy. So I decided to put Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in there, and from that we got LeBron Jordan, a 7'2", 250-pound small forward that is a 99 overall and has 70 badges. And how we got the attributes is for every single attribute category, we just took the highest of the 3 players. So here for layup, we took LeBron's 98. For standing dunk, we took Kareem's 95, and so on and so on. And we did that for every single attribute. I also switched all the tendencies so this player would actually play like the 3 players. And then I've also copied the top badge out of every player as well. So we end up with 70 badges for LeBron Jordan here. And then lastly, I took all of the hot spots as well. So our players pretty much hot from every spot on the court other than the 3-point line, because none of these 3 guys are that great at threes. But combining these players, we got this player is so stacked. I mean, we got the skill of Jordan and James, the athleticism of Michael Jordan and LeBron James, the post scoring of Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, the height of Kareem. This player is just going to be an absolute beast. And I'm excited to put him into a league and just see how crazy he goes. Before we get into the season simulation, I just want to play with LeBron to see how OP he is. We're going to be facing off the then best team in the NBA. Of course, the NBA is canceled now, but the Bucks were first in the league. Who knows if we'll end up getting the rest of the season. Hopefully we do. But we got LeBron at small forward facing off against Chris Middleton. I wonder if they'll switch Giannis on LeBron. But our player is also an insane defender as well. LeBron, Jordan, and Kareem, all great defenders. So we should be pretty beast on defense as well as offense. And we got a goaltend. Our specialty is getting down low with all these players. I mean, Jordan, LeBron, Kareem, great inside scores. Let's actually get into the post. We got Kareem's post moves, and that is money. And there we go. Nice little steal by us right there. I went for the block, but it was more of a steal. And inside dunking over Giannis. Some dribble moves out here. Let's push it inside. Nice little mid-range shot. We got that Jordan mid-range. We're not the greatest at threes. Step back. Wide open from 3. And that is money. I mean, so it's safe to say just playing with him for a bit, this player is a complete animal. And the thing we didn't use here was LeBron's passing, which we'll also see a lot of during the season. Let's get right into the season now. Okay, so I ended up simulating like 20 seasons with LeBron Jordan at different positions and on different teams. And on the Knicks at small forward is the season that he actually performed the best. And he took the Knicks from being one of the worst teams in the NBA to a team with 53 wins and 69% team chemistry. And hopping into the coach game plan for our player, I had his minutes at 48 minutes because I really wanted to try to beat that Wilt record of over 50 points per game in an NBA season. And the season that Wilt did that in 1962, he actually played 48.5 minutes per game, which is more minutes than there actually are in an NBA game. So I thought the best bet was to actually put our player at 48 minutes. He didn't play this many minutes throughout the entire season. And then in terms of points of emphasis, first scoring option, of course, was going to be LeBron Jordan. We're going to play through him, and we are going to shoot at will. And after doing all that, coming over here, if we go over to league leaders, LeBron Jordan was our top scorer in the NBA, averaging 35.7 points per game. which would put him 8th all-time for points in a season, right behind James Harden. But what was also crazy about the simulation is he actually pulled 16 rebounds in the NBA. So not only was he the lead scorer, he was the lead rebounder as well. Coming over to assists per game, he was super close to a triple-double, 0.6 off, but it still puts him at that 4th position. He was also number 1 for steals per game with 3.6, and then blocks per game, he also had 2.6, which put him 2nd, right behind Rudy Gobert. Gonna simulate this final game right here against the Timberwolves. They should end up, no, they end up getting the loss. So 53-29 for the Knicks. Of course, Jordan gonna get MVP right here. Ja Morant, Rookie of the Year, Nurkic, 6th man, and Cabron gonna get Defensive Player of the Year as well. If you guys are wondering what his game highs were this season, in terms of points, it was 56. Three-pointers was only 5, but none of these guys are really amazing at threes. Rebounds was 26. Assists was 18. Steals was 7. Blocks was 8, and his most minutes played in a game was 44, so he didn't even hit that 48 minutes per game, which is what he was supposed to play every single game. But checking out the New York Knicks, they're currently 4th in the East, so they have a really good chance at going ahead and winning this NBA championship this season, and that's all because of Jordan. But they're up against the Boston Celtics in the first round. Let's see if they can eliminate them. 1-0 lead, 2-0 lead, and the Celtics get a game on them. They take a 3-1 lead, and they defeat the Boston Celtics and the first team to move on from the first round. Hopping into the second round, they're going to be facing off against the Brooklyn Nets. This is uninjured rosters, so the Nets are going to have Kevin Durant playing for them. And let's just hop into this simulation. Nets going to take a 1-0 lead, 2-0 lead. There we go. Knicks getting a game on them, and they tie up the series 2-2. The Knicks with a 3-2 lead, and the Nets tied up. We're going to a game 7. And it started off as a pretty close game 7, but in the third quarter, the Nets just took over, and they end up winning by 16 points. So unfortunately, Cabron going to get eliminated from the playoffs. And the 76ers end up winning the finals. Joel Embiid, finals MVP. So next, we're going to see how Jordan performs on all-time teams. We're going to put him on both the Bucks, Bulls, and Cavs, since those are the 3 players teams that we put together to make Jordan. And we're going to be replacing Kareem on the Bucks, Jordan on the Bulls, and LeBron on the Cavs. And we're going to be seeing what kind of crazy stats they can put up on the all-time teams and see if they can help their team win a championship. Starting off here, we got Jordan on the Bulls. He is going to be playing shooting guard, since that was Jordan's position on the Bulls. Yet again, he is going to be playing 48 minutes per game. He's going to be the first scoring option. We're going to play through star and shoot at will. We're going to be doing this for all the all-time teams. End of the season with the Bulls, James ends up getting MVP, 26.2 points per game, 9.4 rebounds, and 8.3 assists. Also 1.8 steals and blocks as well. He also gets a Defensive Player of the Year and a Most Improved Player, which doesn't make a lot of sense because he's a 99 overall and he can't really improve on that. Checking out the league leaders, James was first for points per game. For rebounds per game, he wasn't really close to the top. He was 13th in the league. Assists per game, he was 25th in the league. Steals, he was 16th. And blocks, he was 22nd. So overall, not doing nearly as good on the all-time teams, but he was still the best scorer in the league and almost averaged a triple-double against the greatest players in NBA history. In terms of the playoffs, the Bulls do end up getting the 2nd seed, and let's see if they can win the NBA Finals. First round, they end up sweeping the Cleveland Cavaliers, who had LeBron James on the team. Second round, up against the 76ers. And in the second round, they are going to lose to the Philadelphia 76ers. So James could not win an all-time championship for the Bulls. Rockets end up winning the championship, James Harden MVP. Next up, we're going to be moving on to the Bucks, and we're going to have James playing center. Jordan is yet again able to get the MVP, but this time on the all-time Bucks, averaging a triple-double this season. This is the first time we actually got to see this in the simulation. So a really good season for on the Bucks. He was put at center. So I'm surprised that he did end up getting assists for the triple doubles, and he also had a lot of steals and blocks, which is going to get him that Defensive Player of the Year award. And yet again, he gets Most Improved Player. Checking out the league leaders, is 4th in the league this season for points per game, For rebounds per game, he is tied with Wilt Chamberlain for first. Assists per game, surprisingly, only fourth in the league, even though he averaged over 10. Steals per game, he's number 5. And blocks per game, he is number 8. So as center on the Bucks, Cabron Jordan doing a lot better than he did as shooting guard on the Bulls. When I simulated it earlier, as a center, Cabron did not do nearly as good during the regular season, but I guess on the all-time teams, he's doing a lot better. Bucks are going to be the 2nd seed in the East. Let's see if they're able to go ahead and win an NBA championship. Funny thing is, all of our teams that we're going to be using in the all-time teams are all in the East. Let's get right in the first game up against the Chicago Bulls, who have Michael Jordan on the team, of course. And the Bucks are going to defeat the Bulls in game number 7. In round number 2, they had yet another close game, beating out the 76ers 4-3. And that is the team that the Bulls ended up losing to with Cabron on the team. Going into the Eastern Conference Finals, the Bucks are going to be facing off against the Celtics. And the Bucks are going to lose to the Celtics 4-2. So yet again, Cabron not able to get a championship for his all-time team. We got one more team left, and that is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers. But the Bucks were the strongest teams out of all the teams to play so far, so it's going to be interesting to see how the Cavs do. Also, the championship went to the Rockets again, and yet again, James Harden, Finals MVP. On the Cavaliers, Cabron Jordan, yet again able to win MVP, and this time is actually his best stats so far. Yet again, averaging a triple-double, but this time with 28.7 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, and again, great defensive stats, which are going to give him that Defensive Player of the Year and Most Improved Player. So he's won the 3 same awards every single season with these all-time teams. But the stats on the Cavs are actually the best they have been so far. This is when he's playing small forward, and from our normal simulation, we found out that small forward was the best position for him to get the best stats. So Cabron going to be the top scorer in the league. He's going to be the top rebounder in the league, and he is going to be number 7 for assists. He's also tied for steals per game with John Stockton and is tied for blocks per game with Anthony Davis. Let's see if he's finally able to win an NBA championship. The Cavs are going to be the 2nd seed, facing off against the Knicks, and the Cavs are able to defeat the Knicks 4-2. They're going to be facing off against the Bucks in the 2nd round. And unfortunately, yet again, Cabron coming up short, not able to beat the Milwaukee Bucks in the 2nd round of the playoffs. And this time we're actually not going to have the Rockets winning. But overall, combining the 3 greatest players of all time, we made the greatest player of all time. He just put up some insane numbers, carried all of his teams. Unfortunately, wasn't able to win a championship though, but he did put up some of the greatest stats in NBA history other than Wilt Chamberlain. Lakers did end up winning the championship this season. Magic Johnson, Finals MVP. That is going to be it for this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, make sure that you do smash that like button and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. This has been your boy Smequle, and I'll see you next time. Peace.
I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the money, the pressure be calling. Left on my blessings, I feel like I'm falling. The birdie is back. Tell me I'm garbage, I'm going through something, that's why I ain't calling. Phone in progression, it's all that I wanted. The phone in affection, I summon and dub it. Cause I got problems on problems on problems on problems on problems on problems I solve them. I run through the